Hi, I'm Catharine Magel, and I attended Parkway North, class 1975. And after I graduated, I went straight to art school, and I was very influenced by the art teachers at Parkway. They were inspirational in everything they did. But they encouraged me to continue and go to college, and they offered me information about different colleges to think about in the United States. And so I began to apply to those and got in and continued with my career. I remember Joe Benning, who had a lot of passion for teaching the subject of art, and Bill Vivret, who also just, his mannerisms were all about showing all the different ways that we are creative, not only in art, but in just the things we do as we move around a space. He's very amazing. They both were very amazing. And then I remember Miss Silver, she had us create a book, a blank book, and this was the first time I'd been exposed to this at a young age, I think. It's an amazing idea, but we had a blank book where we kept our thoughts and pictures and ideas, and it was called Reflections. And it's a beautiful idea, and I remember writing in that, and she would write back, "This is interesting, you sound like this writer," just amazing connection. And it was a very intimate connection, I felt, for high school, where you can kind of get lost in the shuffle. And so there was these intimate little contacts with these three, especially these three teachers. And I became an artist because my mother was an artist, so it all kind of just flowed together at Parkway. And my friend, one of my very good friends, went into theater in Parkway, so I became a little bit inspired. And we had a great music teacher. I remember him very well. Of course, I'm trying to remember his name, but I took a choir class with him, and I took guitar, I think. And then I see him, I do scene painting at the Muni, so in the summers, just a summer gig. And I see him there, he's in the symphony. And we say hello, and it's interesting that a lot of the teachers are out in the community doing their passion, they're living their passion in their careers as well, and that was inspirational too, and has continued. I'm local now, and I wasn't for many long years. I was out of town, so I did come back to St. Louis, which is great. It's great to be back home, yeah.
What advice would you give to students now who are considering a career in art, high school students who are thinking about going into art? What would you tell them in terms of training or education, and what kinds of experiences they should be getting to become a professional artist like you?
That's a great question. I would say get into the best art school you can get into, and continue all the way through and get your master's, because it's very competitive, and without a master's it's difficult to have the skills and the time to really investigate your own voice as an artist. And graduate school, especially a very top graduate school, you are around the cream of the crop. So you're around like minds. And so I would say that should come first in your life, is your career. That's my opinion. Because using the creative process helps in everything you're going to do from, as you go forward. And I would say that if, it is oftentimes, I remember during projects, I would have big monumental public art projects that I've had, like carving the side of a building, 140-foot long building with brick. I mean, people would say, "You've never carved brick. You can't do this." And I thought, well, how do you know? I don't know, but I'm going to try, And I did it, and it was hard, and there were a lot of lessons and a lot of information that I gained, but mainly it was the confidence that I gained, that I know I can do it. I know I can take on something that I thought I couldn't do, because I just did it. So there's a lot of fears and doubts, and people can give you those fears and doubts, and I'd say don't listen to that. Know yourself, and when those fears and doubts come in, just if you have a passion to make it, just keep going. And also, the path that I took, I thought I'd be a painter, and I'd see public art, big sculptures out in the world, and I'd say, oh, well, that's the last thing I think I could ever do. I can't imagine how they do this. And it's exactly what I'm doing right now. And I think you meet a lot of amazing people in the process, and you become a bridge as an artist between people to create harmony. There's healing that happens in the arts without a doubt. Just doing it, just getting others involved. And you can teach. There's just a million things you can do. But without the masters, without that real dedication and going through that whole 6 years, it's going to be a little too challenging. I'd say just push through that and get as high as you can go, and listen to your own voice. Develop that, yeah.